This is Junebug. Wait, didn't I just make this video? Okay, yeah, I did. I just checked. But yeah, stick with me for 1 minute. I promise it's worth it. Junebug was formerly known as one of the best Project M players in the world around 2015, and he had gone on a stint of playing a bunch of different characters as a part of his YouTube series he was working on. But when he got to Donkey Kong, he decided to stick to the ape. He ended up winning Patchwork 2024, a smaller regional level event at the beginning of July, over top players and difficult matchups like Salt and Crike. As a result, Jun was now declared the 27th best player in the world on 2024's summer ranking, making him the highest rated Donkey Kong to ever play Melee. And he wasn't the only one either. Two other Donkey Kong players, Kwang and Akir, also made it into the top 50 for this summer at ranks 29 and 37 respectively. And just so you guys truly understand how insane this is, DK has more top 50 representatives than Yoshi, Pikachu, and Ice Climbers, with just Amsa, Axe, and Moth solo maining those characters, and an equal amount of representatives to Captain Falcon and Jigglypuff, with Wizrobe, Salt, and S2J for Falcon, and HBox, SDJ, and Toussaint for Puff. Bum, who was known as the best Donkey Kong player in the early days of Melee, had held the title of highest placing Donkey Kong by getting 4th at MLG Long Island 2007, beating then legends of the game like Isaiah, Warrior Knight, and Shoutout. And that record would go untouched for about 17 years, largely because there just weren't a ton of DKs in modern Melee, period. And you probably know where I'm going with this by now, but there is officially a new leader of the bunch. Junebug just broke Bum's record this past weekend, becoming the highest placing Donkey Kong in Melee history, with a 3rd place at the stacked major Supernova 2024. I really didn't think I'd be doing another Donkey Kong video this soon, but hey, run the track, I guess. Thank you to my good friends over at Into the AM for sponsoring today's video. Into the AM is a team of artists and creators that's been outfitting your passion since 2012. They've been releasing a ton of new collections over the past few months, from graphic tees and tanks to Hawaiians to pants and shorts, and they're all honestly really nice in my opinion. This is not an exaggeration, by the way. I'm usually wearing at least one item from Into the AM every day, and I've enjoyed working with them so much that I've even bought some items for myself outside of the stuff they usually send to me. I've been partnered with this company for over a year now, and I think you guys know by now that the workflow has been such a smooth process, and I'm really happy to have them as a consistent sponsor on the channel. If you're interested in upping your fashion a bit or just want to try out some new clothes, I would highly recommend Into the AM. They usually have a pretty big sale running during most months, but you can use my promo code WALT at checkout or go to intotheam.com/WALT to get an additional 10% off your order. And I say this in every ad, but just so you guys are fully aware, using that link will also afford me a small commission and also kind of helps to let Into the AM know I'm doing a good job, so it would help me out a ton. Thank you once again to Into the AM for supporting the channel, and I hope you enjoy today's video. So if you haven't watched my last DK video, I would love if you did that first, since we'll go over a few reasons as to why this Donkey Kong phenomenon might be happening, but let me give you a quick TLDR on Supernova. Supernova, rebranded from the Super Smash Con series for reasons, was a major level tournament featuring 905 entrants for Melee singles. Including those prior installments, this was the 9th iteration of the series, dating all the way back to 2015. Junebug's run in particular, of course, was really interesting here, and because I only have about a day to write and edit and publish this video before I have to take a flight, I'm gonna quickly cover his bracket path and a few good moments. Which, by the way, if you've already made it this far into the video, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed or at least checked if you're subscribed. I work really hard on these videos, and especially on this one, I wanted to make sure I could get something out in a timely fashion before I leave for like a week. And I think a lot of people watch without realizing how much effort actually goes into this stuff. A lot of my big story videos take like hundreds of hours to write and edit, and sometimes I even have to offload that to other people so I can work on multiple projects at once. So if you want to support me, subscribing is really a quick and easy way to do that. If you did just subscribe, thanks a bunch, and enjoy our next segment Junebug likes to call Junebug's Mickey Mouse Major Run. So the biggest thing on this list is that Zane had to drop out of the tournament, and as a result, Jun ended up basically acquiring Zane's projected bracket path. Jun's bracket then became a 3-1 over Zamu, a 3-1 over Agent, and 2 3-0s over Axe and Joshman before losing out to Mango and Cody Schwab to mark Donkey Kong's best tournament placement ever, and the character's 2nd ever top 8 appearance after Bum at MLG Long Island 2007. June does acknowledge in that Mickey Mouse Major run note that he got to dodge players like Jungaaaa, who have historically done very well against him, and that he received a lot of good practice for weird matchups like Pikachu. Additionally, I think his note about the Junebug Kwang inversion effect actually makes a lot of sense here too. Kwang and June are the two highest ranking Donkey Kong players in 2024, and they even played a 1-to-5 show match on Supernova weekend as well, which June won 5-2. They for sure swagged out a bit, so it's a little harder to analyze specifically that set, but I think watching them play versus others, you can see that Kwang plays an almost traditional grappler style with a very optimal punish game, while June has strong punish but is incredibly good at playing neutral. This playstyle in particular works really well in today's metagame with crouch cancel, shield drop, and general defensive counterplay running rampant, but I just found that interesting to see since Kwang is literally the next best DK you can get practice from while June is out there warming up. I think there's also a cool idea that I didn't cover in my last video in that DK almost serves as an anti-meta character. Kind of in a similar way to how Amsa entered the scene with his Yoshi, because he attacks that current metagame in really unique ways. The fact that DK can almost skip neutral off of a single grab can't be understated, but almost all of DK's kill confirms across the cast coming off of grab means he gets to care a little bit less about crouch canceling. Yeah, of course getting the grab is still going to be a problem, like we saw in the Mango and Cody sets, but even things like up B are great at dealing with defensive options like shield drop, and DK's own shield drop options are quite solid, just like they are with Yoshi. For this video, I want to quickly take a look at the 2 3-0s that guaranteed Junebug a bronze medal here, since I think they highlight some really good preparation June made for both players. Let's first look at Junebug versus Axe. Like I said before, Axe is the only Pikachu player currently in the top 50, and he's still regarded as the greatest Pikachu player of all time. This was the first time these two players had met in brackets since 2015, where Junebug was actually a Sheik main playing Axe at Low Tier City 3, so a lot had changed in the past 9 years. The biggest note here is that DK Pika as a matchup is actually like grossly DK favored in my opinion. I talked to a few other DK mains to get their thoughts, and a lot of them think DK destroys Pikachu. Many Melee players consider Pikachu an almost budget fox, with Up Smash and Thunder as strong KO options off the top, Tail Spike and Quick Attack as gimp options and quick ways to steal the ledge, and very strong counter picks like Final Destination against Spaceys and Falcon. What's so tough about this matchup and what we'll end up seeing a bunch is that Pikachu will just win neutral practically forever, and that full 20, 30, 40 seconds of getting hit will result in like maybe 80%. And the thing is, if Axe doesn't get the kill at the end of these strings, him getting like 80% isn't even that extraordinarily high or impactful against a character like Donkey Kong, who's the second heaviest character in the cast behind only Bowser. In the first game, we see this disparity shown to an insane degree. At the beginning of this game, June gets bopped around for literally 20 seconds straight and dies, which just highlights how bad DK's disadvantage can be, but the following stocks really show us why this matchup can be considered DK favored. June evens up the stocks with only 66%, and even after a couple misses, he's able to roughly even up the percents. A couple of times over the course of this set, June missed the cargo up throw giant punch conversion, but because Axe landed on top of him, he's given essentially a free up B instead. This time the up B doesn't KO, and after another close to 20-ish second scramble of Axe in advantage state, June's DK is left at 155. But Axe is high percent as well, so he'll get KO'd with a simple cargo up throw up air for June to take the lead. And the question is now, exactly how does Axe take a reply stock? June will die to up smash if he's not CCing it, but Axe has no real starter hits that allow him to link into up smash at this high of a percent. Axe loves nairing all the time since it's so fast, so what about that? Even with horrible DI from June, a completely unstalled nair won't kill DK unless Axe gets more percent from center, or if the hit connects with June near one of the side platforms. But for June, his win conditions don't really change. It's just get a grab and profit. And at 603, he profits. June gets a cargo up throw and even messes up the first following up air, but he's able to catch the Pika's drift with another one. After a couple more up airs, Axe recovers onto stage, but if Pikachu lands during any of the 50 frames after the second quick attack hitbox comes out, he'll incur 24 frames of landing lag instead of the usual 4. So Junebug has a pretty large window to get another grab. From here, it's honestly a pretty straightforward flowchart to get the kill, and June himself was able to put that together over the course of the set. Grab Pikachu once and get him to around kill percent, grab him again and get the kill. June can connect a dare after this cargo up throw to force a tech chase on the platform, and since June still has his giant punch charged, it's pretty easy to kill confirm. He can just jump then cargo up throw into giant punch, which kills Pika off the top remarkably early. I think a lot of the examples I would pull from this set follow a similar formula, so for the sake of time I'm going to cut it off here, but for the record, Jun himself didn't even know if he thought the matchup was good for DK since he had never played it until this weekend. So when we asked him after he won, he said, and I quote, "Yeah, I guess DK does win." Also, look at the crowd here, that is just so cool. Junebug's next set and his first one in Donkey Kong's second ever top 8 appearance was against the best player from Australia, Joshman. Now, Joshman is a community favorite, don't get me wrong, but given the context, the crowd was easily behind Junebug, and many folks who were there said it was one of the loudest crowds they have ever heard. Josh had also never played against Junebug and his DK, but he did beat Kwang 3-2 in this same bracket just a day earlier, but I do think the Junebug-Kwang inversion effect took its toll as well. Like I mentioned before, as it stands right now, Kwang seems to have adopted more of a true grappler playstyle, while Jun seems to play neutral way better than a lot of the other DKs out there. This is thanks in part to his play in PM and Brawl and other games by the way, but anyway, Jun has said to me multiple times, and I also mentioned it on commentary multiple times, that he has this pretty bad habit of ripping Giant Punch in neutral, but we're obviously going to go over the last stock where he rips Giant Punch in neutral. Jun's up 2-0 in the set as well as up 3-1 in stocks, but Josh has begun to mount a comeback. He takes the first one off a pretty high percent nair, then Jun's hubris gets the better of him as he tries to end the set in style with an offstage Giant Punch that also gets him killed. As the dust settles though, Joshman is already at 76%, and we were seeing Jun get true conversions with cargo up throw up smash at around the 100 to 110% range. Hell, even in the second game, he got a cargo up throw up air to punch conversion which started at 54%. Granted, that was on Yoshi's, but all that is to say, Jun had options to end it if he could get a grab. And Josh knows it. Because Jun is struggling so hard to land, Joshman slowly but surely takes a percent lead as the transformation comes through. Unfortunately, there really isn't much in the way of analysis here after that happens. The transformation comes through, Josh dashes in, and he gets smacked. What I do find a bit interesting as a tangent is that Jun didn't have a full charge on this punch since he wound up 2 times when he respawned, didn't get hit when he up B'd, and then wound another 5 times before hitting Joshman. Real quick, the didn't get hit when he up B'd remark is because DK actually loses his punch charge when he gets hit out of that, which melee, I guess. But anyway, my buddy Fraser, aka Melee Moments, made a fun short about the 9-wine tech, but it's basically just a weird melee thing where DK's Giant Punch with 9 wines does more knockback than the fully charged one. This didn't really matter in the context of this moment though, since the full charge, or in fact any charge over 6, would have easily KO'd Joshman or set up for a pretty straightforward edgeguard at this percent as well, but I think it's kind of fun to point that out. Also fun to point out that Jun only got 2 wines here because he, I think, accidentally did a 0 swing cancel, or ZSC, which is when you input R, L, or Z on the last frame of DK's 8-frame punch startup animation called Special End Startup. Now, if we really want to be nerdy about this, yes, Joshman did misinput a dashback, but the true culprit of this interaction here, in my opinion, was this platform rising up during the water transformation. This caused Josh to run off the platform instead of continuing with his dash dance to close distance, which in turn changed his dash dance rhythm, which in turn caused him to get punched in the face. But I digress. While Jun was ultimately double eliminated after winning this set by Mango and Cody Schwab, the first and second placers of this tournament, the fact that Jun was even able to make it this far is incredible. This was one of the very, and I mean very, few moments in Melee history where a player of Mango's popularity was on stage and the in-person crowd was cheering against him. And that's pretty insane.
Is the missed Giant Punch the difference maker for Joshman? Transformation comes through. Do they wait it out right now? Percents have been practically equalized. Now Josh is in the lead.
Oh my God.
Anything could happen.
Jun is gonna wait it out for the...
Oh! No way! You gotta be kidding me! Oh my God! Junebug takes it! Junebug takes it! I had said in game 2, watch out for the raw Giant Punch. Junebug wanted to do it to please the crowd. Give it up for the best Donkey Kong player in the world to ever do it. Junebug will be making history with a guaranteed 3rd place at Supernova. Bum, step aside. Your time in the spotlight has finally ended after close to 20 years.
I mentioned in my last video that I consider Jun to be a close friend of mine in the community. We've commentated at online and in-person events together, I've helped him with some of his videos, and he was one of the first people I got to hang out with when I started actually attending tournaments not too long ago. Regardless of that pride one might feel when seeing a friend succeed in anything, I think this is such a wonderful reminder that this game really is eternal. June had called me the day after Supernova ended once he had let his adrenaline die down, and he told me that while he didn't walk away with a gold medal, to be able to put on a performance like that in his hometown and around friends, given those circumstances, he really does feel like he won. Melee is a silly children's party game that has been played competitively for over 20 years. And now, in 2024, we're given just another little reminder that I don't think any of us want to stop anytime soon. This channel is funded by my Patreon. If you want to be a producer of the channel and help me be able to do this even more often, then you can join over at the link in the description. Thank you to all of my patrons who help make videos like these possible, especially Avishua Stein, Bobby Wasabi, Bold Italics, Eric is Cool, and NNG Esports. And thank you so much for watching, and for all the support on my recent videos. It has honestly made me really happy. Please like and subscribe if you liked what you saw, and as always, there's much more on the way. See you next time.